Hello there, my name's Cal, I'm from ABsmartly, and I've been asked to give you a short demonstration of how variant variables can be used to change your website or your application without having to make changes in the code. This is particularly useful if you have something like a mobile application where changes in the code have to be pushed to an app store, where there's a review process before the changes actually get to your users. So what I have here is a little example app, and here we're running an experiment which decides whether to show the users a picture of Los Angeles or a picture of London, depending on their user ID. And just to show you in the code, I'm using a random number as my user ID, which is why it changes on every refresh. So this is a good experiment, but let's say along with the change to the hero image, we also want to change the color of this button. Well, we can do that using variant variables. So I'm going to come into the experiment and I'm going to click restart, and I'm going to come to the variants tab and I'm going to add a variable, and let's call it call to action color. And let's say for variant A, it's going to be green. And for variant B, it's going to be red. So I'm going to restart this experiment, come back into the example app, and now variant A sees green and variant B sees red. And I'll just show you how that's working in the code. So here we're asking the context, is there a variable value called call to action color? If you find one, set the button's background color to that. If you don't, set it to steel blue, which is what it was before. But let's say the designers have changed their mind. They don't want it to be green and red anymore. They want it to be some other colors. Well, we can do that also in the web console. So we can restart the experiment again, come back into the variants tab, and let's make this one purple. And this one can be midnight blue. I'm going to click restart, come back to the example app, and now variant A sees purple and variant B sees midnight blue. So that's how variant variables can be used to change your application. I'd also like to just jump in and say that we also can run functions using variant variables. So I'm going to add a new variable, and I'll call it function, and I'm going to jump into our editor and choose JavaScript. And this is an arbitrary example, but let's say alert hello control group, and I'll copy that, and in variant B, function editor JavaScript hello test group. Now I'm going to restart that and come back to the example app, and now our function is running in the code. Hello test group, hello control group. So that's all very useful, but I'd also like to take it one step further by showing you our merge config API. So in this code, I have a config here, which is loading the content, and this is really useful for internationalization. So here we have content, English, and some Latin that isn't English, but you can imagine you might have other languages here, Dutch or any language you can think of. So what we are able to do is we are able to take variables from the web console and merge this config with the web console variables to bring what is needed for the experiment. So, for example, let's go back to the web console and let's restart this one more time. I'm going to come to the variants tab. Let's remove this function. And let's say we want to change the content of variant B. Well, I'm going to come into JSON mode here, and I'm going to say content, which was an object. It had an English parameter there, and let's say this is an array. Let's say, hello world, how are you today? So I'm going to click restart on that and go back into the example app, hit refresh. And now variant B has this brand new configuration, and variant A sticks with what we had before, the default configuration. So this can be really useful for taking internationalization and changing content depending on which variant your users are in. So that's a little bit about variant variables and how powerful they can be. Thank you very much. I hope you have a great day. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us on Slack or via email. Thank you.